Ever wondered why smart people, just like you and me, fall for scams? It's a question that has puzzled many. After all, we consider ourselves savvy, informed, and alert. So, how do we become prey to fraudsters who seem to have perfected the art of deception? We are about to embark on a journey to explore this intriguing paradox. We'll delve deep into the world of scams, a realm where intelligence and wit are often outwitted by cunning and guile. From the classic Nigerian prince email scam to the more sophisticated phishing schemes, we'll dissect a variety of scams that have fooled even the most discerning among us. These scams are not just about the money stolen, but also about the trust broken and the confidence shattered. So grab your detective hats, folks. It's time for some scam busting. Let's dive in to unravel the mystery behind this paradox. To understand why people fall for scams, we first need to explore human psychology. Now, human beings are complex creatures, aren't we? We're driven by a multitude of emotions, desires, and fears, some of which can be easily manipulated by those with a knack for exploiting others. Indeed, these psychological factors play a pivotal role in making us susceptible to scams. Take the fear of missing out, for instance, or FOMO as the youngsters call it. This is a powerful emotion that can drive us to make impulsive decisions. Scammers often capitalize on this fear, offering once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that require immediate action. The fear of missing out on these supposedly lucrative deals can compel even the most cautious among us to let down our guard. Then there's greed, a trait that's as old as humanity itself. The promise of quick and easy riches can be a tantalizing prospect. This is perhaps best illustrated by the infamous Nigerian prince scam. You've probably heard of it, an email from a so-called Nigerian prince who promises a hefty sum in return for a small upfront fee. It's clearly a scam to most of us, but the allure of easy money can sometimes override our better judgment. And let's not forget the desire to trust others. We're social creatures by nature, and it's in our DNA to build connections and trust with our fellow humans. Scammers exploit this trust, often presenting themselves as friendly, reliable individuals or institutions. They know that if they can win our trust, they can manipulate us more easily. But perhaps the most intriguing factor of all is our innate optimism. We tend to believe in the goodness of people, and more often than not, we hope for the best possible outcome. This optimism bias can blind us to the harsh realities of the world, making us vulnerable to scams. So it seems our emotions can often cloud our judgment, making us easy prey for scammers. Scammers are, in essence, masters of persuasion. They weave tales and fabricate scenarios so convincingly that even the most discerning of us can fall prey to their tactics. So, how do they manage to do this? To understand this, let's delve into the case study of the notorious lottery scam. Imagine you receive a call out of the blue. The voice on the other end sounds professional, even affable. They congratulate you on winning an enormous sum of money in a lottery. You don't remember buying a ticket, but they explain it away as a lucky draw from a pool of phone numbers. Now this is where the art of persuasion comes into play. The scammer creates a sense of urgency. They tell you that the lottery has an expiration date. If you don't claim your prize within the next few hours, it will vanish. The ticking clock, the imagined riches slipping away, they all create a sense of panic. You are more likely to make a hasty decision when you are under pressure. Next, they introduce the element of exclusivity. They tell you that you are one of the few lucky winners. This makes you feel special, chosen. It strokes your ego and makes you want to believe in the too-good-to-be-true offer. The scammer is pressing all the right buttons. They are appealing to your emotions, not your logic. They are making you feel good, special, and lucky. They are creating pressure, making you believe that if you don't act now, you will lose out. And that's how they get you. They manipulate your feelings, your fears, and your desires. They make you believe that you need to act fast without thinking, without questioning. So, the next time you receive a call or an email that seems too good to be true, remember this. Scammers are not just criminals. They are psychologists. They know how to play with our emotions and our cognitive biases. They know what makes us tick. Scammers know how to push our buttons, and they do it well. Another tool in the scammer's arsenal is the illusion of legitimacy. This is a crafty strategy that involves the creation of a facade so convincing, it's easy to believe it's the real deal. Let's imagine a scenario. You're browsing the internet when suddenly a pop-up appears, warning you about a potential virus on your computer. The pop-up may even include an official-looking logo, perhaps even a familiar one, like Windows or Apple. It urges you to call a toll-free number for immediate tech support to protect your device. This, my friends, is an example of the tech support scam, a common ruse used to exploit the trust we place in big-name brands. The scammers behind this scheme create a professional-looking pop-up, complete with logos and jargon that mirrors what you'd see from a legitimate tech company. They might even use official-sounding titles like Certified Technician or Customer Support Specialist to further enhance their credibility. But here's the catch. When you call the number, you're not connected to a certified tech expert. Instead, you're speaking with a scam artist whose sole aim is to convince you to grant them remote access to your computer. Once they have this, they can install malicious software, steal sensitive information, or even lock you out of your device completely. The illusion of legitimacy they create is so convincing that it's easy to let your guard down. And this is precisely what they want. By appearing professional and trustworthy, they lull you into a false sense of security, making it easier for them to execute their devious plans. The tech support scam is just one example of how scammers use the illusion of legitimacy to their advantage. They might also set up fake websites, use spoofed email addresses, or even create counterfeit documents. All of these tactics are designed to trick you into believing you're dealing with a legitimate entity, when in reality, you're not. When everything looks above board, it's easy to let our guard down. But remember, appearances can be deceiving, and not everything that glitters is gold. Sometimes our own overconfidence can be our downfall. This statement echoes true, especially when we delve into the world of scams and fraudulent schemes. You might be thinking, I'm intelligent, I've got a good head on my shoulders. There's no way I'd fall for a scam. But here's the catch. It's precisely this overconfidence that can make you an easy target. See, scammers don't discriminate. They're not just out there hunting for the gullible or the naive. They're after anyone who thinks they're too smart to be scammed. Let's take a look at the case of an infamous investment scam as an example. Here we had a scheme that promised high returns with minimal risk. It sounded too good to be true, but that didn't stop a multitude of well-educated, savvy investors from pouring their hard-earned money into it. They believed they were too astute to fall for a scam, yet they were precisely the ones who fell the hardest. Why did this happen? It's simple. These individuals overestimated their ability to spot a scam. They saw the potential benefits, the lucrative returns, and their confidence in their own judgment blinded them to the red flags that were waving right in front of their faces. This is what we call overconfidence bias, a cognitive bias that leads us to overestimate our own abilities or knowledge. When it comes to scams, this bias can be particularly dangerous. It can lead us into a false sense of security, making us complacent and more susceptible to manipulation. Remember, scammers are incredibly skilled at what they do. They know how to play on your emotions, your desires, and yes, even your overconfidence. They'll make you feel like you're in control, like you're the one making the smart decision, when in reality you're walking right into their trap. So, the next time you're presented with an opportunity that seems too good to be true, take a moment to question it. Don't let your confidence cloud your judgment. Because as we've seen, just because you're smart doesn't mean you're immune to scams. We've explored the reasons why intelligent people fall for scams, but how can we protect ourselves? We've delved deep into the psychological tactics that scammers employ, using the art of persuasion and creating an illusion of legitimacy to lure in their victims. We've also discussed how overconfidence and complacency can make us an easy target. So how do we safeguard ourselves? Firstly, always question the legitimacy of any unsolicited contact, be it an email, a phone call, or a text message. Secondly, never give out personal information unless you're absolutely certain of who you're dealing with. And lastly, remember that if something seems too good to be true, it often is. Let's keep these points in mind and arm ourselves with knowledge. Scammers prey on the uninformed and the unsuspecting. But by staying informed and by remaining vigilant, we can protect ourselves from their deceptive tactics. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and you'll be much less likely to fall for a scam.